everybody, and welcome back. Kill the Cat Radio, Sharp Teeth, episode 27. Ever since we started this last February, 27 episodes. What is it now? September. Been a great ride thus far. I want to thank the 71 subscribers who hit the button below, which you can do too. Come on over to Kill the Cat Country. Now, you're listening to Sharp Teeth. This is our program where we primarily deal with criticisms and contemplations regarding modern civilization and other media, music, and sociological topics. As you can see on episode here, 27, nothing much has changed. The guitar still rocking and rolling. The book of the week is really kind of a collection of stories by a man named Hunter S. Thompson. I believe we all know a little bit about that gentleman. Kind of wild guy. Sure, he took a lot of drugs. Sure, he drank a lot. Sure, he ate a lot. Sure, he was a glutton. Sure, he chased women. Sure, he loved guns. He was an odd man. I don't know if we can find a guy like that these days, who's that kind of strange mix of artist, journalist, William S. Burroughs, John Milius, and Satan all wrapped up in one. But definitely pick up the book. We got the hat on the wall. Welcome back, everybody. It seems like there's a theme for this week going on here on my clipboard. Yes, that's right. My selling out clipboard. See? All typed up, guys. The sellout clipboard. And this week's topic is how to be a real New Yorker. Now that, my friends, is the best question you could ever ask anyone ever, especially if you've been living here for a long time. I don't know what to tell you, folks. There are real New Yorkers, of course, born and raised here. Usually, they're pretty similar people. We'll get into them a little bit later. New York also is the most visited, other than Paris, city in all of the world, which is great. It's one of the oldest cities in the United States, other than New Orleans and Boston. So you have Boston, New Orleans, and New York City. It's a town of immigrants. It's a town of visitors. It's a town of people who just found themselves here and have to struggle somehow to survive and get what they want. Some people look at New York City like a cash machine. You come in, get your money, and get out. Other people look at it like they're looking for a great experience. Others, who knows what they're looking for. The best part about the town is you can find whatever you are looking for. It's there. People say, oh, what should I do in New York City? Let's see what you should do in New York City. Whatever you can conceive of. If you want it, you can find it here. That is the coolest thing about New York. Also, sometimes the scariest thing, and you have to pay to play. So when people come here for different reasons, what have you, they're coming here to find something. Now, the greatest quote I ever had when I first moved here was from a lady in the Bronx. Grew up in the Bronx. Nice lady. Kind of grew up, in the projects, came up, made some money, figured out how to do it. She looked pretty professional. Did what she needed to do to get by. She looked me dead in the eye and said, Matthew, you little wolf, you. I know all about you already. And I was probably like 25, 26, something like this. She said, Matthew, I know all about you. I got your number, buddy. And I said, oh, what do you mean? What does that mean? She's like, you're going to be just fine here in New York City. I was a little nervous, of course. I was always really scared to come here. So it was an intimidating place. But she said the best quote. She said, you don't move to New York City to find out who you are. You move to New York City to find out who you've always been. So it'll burn the fat off your personality and teach you exactly who you really are. Are you what you thought you were when you moved here? Are you the impression that you had of yourself before you moved here? Maybe other people knew who you were. Maybe you didn't know. I'll tell you one thing. You try to come to this city as who you were, you're going to learn really quick who you actually are very fast. And on top of that, you're surrounded around a lot of people, millions. Some say almost 9 million. I think there's 9 million. They're saying like 8.9 or something. I don't know. I think we're at the place where we could say it's 9 million people living in this crazy 5 boroughs. You're going to find out exactly who you are and what you're all about. It'll teach you. Talk about it like prison terms. How long you been here? I say 20 years. I'll be like, that's a felony. Oh, you been here 1 year? Misdemeanor. You'll be out of here in no time. You'll be over here talking about, oh, New York was a rough place. Oh, it was so tough. Oh, I couldn't make it. Well, that's your problem, pal. Move back to your small town. Not trying to be flippant, but it does bring me to the 3 points of the week here. First point of the week about how to be a real New Yorker. Number 1, you're walking wrong. I bring this up every time. Walking wrong. First 3 weeks I was here in New York City, I saw a lady yell at another lady. Both of these ladies were over 50, and one of them yelled at another lady and said, you're walking wrong. How do you walk wrong? Here's the inside scoop, all right? Usually if you're walking, Here's your sidewalk. Just like a car, you walk, you're going this way, you walk on the right-hand side, stay on the right-hand side rule. If you're walking the other side, you're going that way, you stay on your right side. If you see somebody messing up these rules that are undefined or not written down, okay, they don't know what they're doing. Or they do know what they're doing and they're intoxicated. So they do know what they're doing, they're intoxicated and don't care. There's that. Or they're just mentally ill, or they're trying to rob you. Pretty simple stuff. Yeah, there's rules to the road here. So just try to imagine cars act like people and people act like cars. And that's the way this city survives. How do I know you're just visiting New York City? You're walking wrong. Just like that little anecdote I said in episode 26 when the old man was walking by a group of college kids that are like making out and being goofs in the middle of a sidewalk. He's like, oh, excuse me, sorry to pass by. If you don't mind me. And then he actually looked over at the kids. Remember, it's called a sidewalk. I thought that was pretty funny. The old man. So you got these two old people yelling at the new people trying to get him in line. Now, what are the reasons why you walk wrong? I already told you a couple of them. You don't know the rules. Fine. You're pegged. We know who to rob. 2, you're intoxicated. Okay. Some people will actually let that slide and not mess with you because you're intoxicated because you're too easy. There's no good fight there. You know, there's no good challenge in attacking some drunk, poor, intoxicated person. Although it can be done. I mean, my friend got hit in the head with a bottle one time when he was intoxicated and he woke up with nothing. So that's kind of scary. Or you're walking, you're intoxicated and you don't care and you're purposely breaking the rules. All right. But then you're just like looking to irritate other New Yorkers and then now you got a new problem. But chances are, yeah, it's intoxication is why you're walking wrong. You're walking wrong. Okay. You need to stop that. Also walking too slow. You're too slow. Move. Time to move. Okay. And you ever see, we're going to get to the phone moment in a second because I already bitched about this in another episode way early on where, you know, the person you're just like walking with a person and they're walking too. They put out their phone. They just stop right there in the middle of the sidewalk. 2 things. 1, that person doesn't know what they're doing. Or 2, that person knows exactly what they're doing. You need to watch out for that person because you're about to get robbed. But the phone, it's the phone, it's the music, it's the earbuds, it's everything, right? Because when you block, I don't know, I don't have to give you guys a lesson in biology, right? In sensorial perception. But if you block your ears, you actually lose balance a little bit, okay? Because your hearing helps your balance. And there's a whole thing, I'm sure smarter people, you guys can mention it in the comments. Smarter people know about this stuff. If you block any of your senses, it could get you into some danger here in New York City. But if you block your ears, you walk different. You can't hear when someone's coming up behind you. You're missing a million different social cues at once. It's a whole thing. And you're sort of like, especially if you're looking for directions, you're like, oh, where am I? What am I doing? It's the phone. It's the phone with the earphones. When you're walking in New York Street and maybe it's nighttime, your eyes, both of your eyes and both of your ears need to be focused on what's going on here on the streets. 9 times out of 10, maybe you'll survive. But when I moved to New York City, it wasn't like that. Everybody's bitching about how New York City's changed and it's more dangerous. It's like, well, it's kind of always been this way, you know? And all your money and your lawyers can't help you when it's 11 p.m. No one's around and you piss off the wrong person. No one can help you, really. Cops won't come. Don't worry about that. They stopped working years ago. All right, moving on. Now we've already addressed the phone problem, the walking wrong problem. That's number 1 about how not to be a real New Yorker. Real New Yorkers are movers and shakers. We're moving somewhere. We have to. It's not like we're more arrogant. We just have to pay more bills than you do. Maybe you have the one job, 9 to 5, come home, watch your Netflix. God bless you. All right. If you're here and you're paying all this rent and you are paying all these bills and trying to get your hustle on whatever it is that you're doing, whatever business opportunity, art opportunity you're trying, if you're busy, okay? You don't waste time with any bullshit. Which brings me to point 2 of this wonderful episode. The rudeness of the new. I'll never forget, I saw a comedian named Judah Friedlanders? I don't know. You know the guy. He was on some show. I can't remember. His name's Judah Friedlander, I think. Anyway, he was, trucker hat, big glasses, beard, whatever, long hair, kind of portly gentleman. Anyway, he made a great joke when I saw him live. He came over here to play over here in Williamsburg and did his shtick, and it was fantastically funny because he was so accurate. And he said this funny joke. He's like, guys like living over here in Williamsburg, or it's like the cool neighborhood now, right? They're cheering because that's back when actually this neighborhood was. Now it is very much not. Great joke. I'm stealing from him now. He says, oh yeah, welcome to New York, you guys. How you doing? So you guys were basically thought that you were really too cool for your little neighborhood you came from, or your little town you came from some one of these towns, right? And you guys were the ones who thought you were too cool for that little small environment. Maybe you're running away from a crime. That'd be more interesting, but really, you just thought you were better and cooler than everyone else. That's why you came to this meat blender of human activity. I am totally riffing on this. He just said the first part. You moved here because you thought you were cooler. Well, guess what? You're not. And even if that theory was true, everybody else thinks they're cool too, which is a good thing in a way to have confidence. It's good to know like why you're here. What are you doing? Do you have a purpose? What is your end goal? People are like, well, I want to have a family one day. Well, why are you here, dude? Get the fuck out of here. You want to have a family one day? Why are you in New York City? Move to San Antonio, Texas. God damn it. That line can be very troubling. I think what it is there's an insecurity maybe in artists for two reasons. One, is their work any good? Two, are you getting paid for it? The are you getting paid for it question is very American. We've already been through that. We're going to talk about that again in episode 28, which is called Artists versus Artisans. Right? Very interesting title. But really, at the beginning of your artistic career, which pretty much starts childhood, in my opinion. I mean, for me, it started when I was writing film and plays and music videos. But I've met so many posers. They look the part. Like, who dresses up like a plumber and doesn't plumb? Like, what's that about? Now, if you have style, that's cool. I don't mind people who have like style, personal style, or they're doing this, or, you know, same thing with tattoos, which we'll talk about that too. If you see a person with like tattoos that like look too good, it doesn't tell me that they're tough or they're interesting. It tells me they have expendable income. It's almost like a flex, like they're flashing cash. If they got really good tattoos, perfectly done, get them reworked every 6 months, they're not saying, oh yeah, it's cool to mar my flesh. Look at me, I'm a real danger to society. It says like, I got money. That's what it says. I mean, back in the day, maybe it was what you wore. Now it's what you put on your skin. And plus that shit don't come off. And I hate commitment. But fake it till you make it. Great. It's a great idea. It's like, what does that even mean? The artist's life is reserved for artists. Everybody wants to live it for a little while. But when it comes down to the reality of what it is, constant rejection, barely any money, always trying a new thing, being mocked and laughed at. Even if you do succeed, even having some kind of modicum of success. Like when I sold my book, as I said, last month, sold over 100 copies of my book right off the bat. Paid 1 month's New York rent from my book, by the way. Same thing with my poetry book, actually, when it came out too. I'll put the links to both below. But what I'm saying is that, you know, all the drudgery that comes with the creative life is reserved for the positive stuff that happens with the artist's life. And there's tons of great things that happen, right? You're invited to parties. You're invited to strange dinners. You could travel. People are interested in what you're doing. When they finally let their guard down, they're curious about the artistic process. They want to know how it's done. You know, everybody mocks you till you have that one hit, especially in the United States. You get that one hit, suddenly everybody wants to be your friend. Before I came out in the New York Times, oh my God, people were ragging on this one idea I had, Literate Sunday. Comes out in the New York Times, everybody wants to be my best friend. Getting letters, strangers, people looking around for me. It's like, what? I mean, what are people really looking for? Are they really looking at the art, or they just want to, you know, be around the energy? You know? So that's reserved for artists. So when they say fake it till you make it, I think one of the ways you can look at fake it till you make it is dress for the job you want. Work at Wall Street, dress like those guys. You want to be an artist, dress like those guys. And it's not just about external apparel. It's like how you feel inside here and inside here. If you're that, you live that whole lifestyle. And what they truly mean bohemian lifestyle and a very like thought-provoking philosophical life, which some people do risk doing, even when it doesn't really give you a lot of security in life. You deserve everything that comes to you. So if you put out that book or put out that movie or put out that, you star in that stage play, you deserve all the laudings and compliments and everything that come to you. That's where we come down to the faking problem. A lot of people just dress the part, literally dress the part, just only look and live the lifestyle and do shit. They don't do anything. There's nothing to back it up. Where's the receipts? People like to say now. I want to see the proof, you know? So I feel bad for those who don't have that kind of social quality. Like I have that because I'm a New Yorker person, but there are a lot of great artists who just don't have that sort of ability to grab a hold of that charm and charisma, even if they don't like it, because technically I'm an introvert and I don't want to talk to anybody. That's why I'm talking to the camera on a rainy Sunday afternoon. Look, that's all I'm saying. The creep of the week are these fake-ass posers that keep messing it up for the rest of us who actually do good and aren't flakes and losers and drug addicts and whatever. And there's nothing wrong with being a flake or a loser or a drug addict. Be it, right? Remember, New Yorkers take all kinds. You don't move here to find out who you are. You move here to realize who you've always been. So you fake ass poser artists out there, give it up. Get out of the way and let the real artists take over. Thank you. All right, that brings us to the talkback section. Plenty of compliments and criticisms and comments. First one usually is thank you. Appreciate that. Love it. Thank you for thanking me. I want to thank you for being a subscriber and just joining in the ranks here of the stuff that we are doing here. I appreciate that very much. Second one is when did you start writing and what? Where did you learn to write? When did you start writing and when did you start writing and where did you learn to write? I'm going to save that for the next episode in the talkback section, the artist versus the artisan section. I'm going to save that, guys. So whoever you are out there, I'll get to it. Fake it till you make it. There was another comment about SEO optimization, all that stuff, you know, like trying to get more hits and more members and more subscribers. I totally agree with that. I did that. Yeah, not much has changed. Some of the great YouTubers out there have told me personally, it's a slog. You want to start something like this? You want to start your own program? Okay. Like, you know, you got to come up with some kind of plan. You got to break your chair. You got to put yourself on camera first. And that means you have to look like an idiot on camera. And then you have to put it out to the internet that never erases it. I guess you could scrub it later. All your mistakes and all your flaws end up becoming your style. And eventually you will find an audience somewhere that likes what you're talking about. And if you're serious about what you're doing and you take it seriously, they'll take you seriously too. That's my motto on this thing. It's a slog. It takes forever. I tried SEO. I tried this. I mean, I won't pay for advertisers or anything like that. I won't pay them for anything. No, this is YouTube. And before they cancel everybody who's ever done a bad thing in their life, we better get as much out as possible. You know what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and thank the 71 members of this channel, Kill the Cat Radio Sharp Teeth, on this episode 27. You are watching Kill the Cat Radio. This program is called Sharp Teeth. We are episode 27. My name is Matthew. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.